Russia is a critical partner in China's long-term strategy of competing with the U.S. and its allies. Vladimir Putin's war on Ukraine is an opportunity for the CCP to fulfill their goals. Joining me now is the author of The Great U.S.-China Tech War, Gordon Chang. Gordon, always good to see you.
Thank you so much, Tom.
All right, so Gordon, it seems to me that the Communist Chinese are manipulating this situation, I think, with a tremendous amount of skill, and we're not doing anything to stop them. What do you think?
Oh, we're certainly not doing anything to stop them. It's obvious that China is financing this war. China is putting its diplomats at the service of Russia. China is making its financial system open to the Russians now that they've been sanctioned. And perhaps as important from Beijing's point of view, they're using their massive propaganda campaign of the apparatus of the Communist Party to amplify these Russian themes. And we know about it. We see what they're doing. They're even providing military intelligence to the Russians. And we're not doing anything. We're not sanctioning them. We're warning. And Beijing is just looking at this and saying, you know, that's, again, feckless Americans. They can warn, but they can't sanction.
Yeah, you know, let's talk about that. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan this week warned his Chinese counterpart of serious consequences if Beijing helps Russia wage its war against Ukraine. He elaborated about those warnings on CNN. Take a listen.
I'm not going to sit here publicly and brandish threats, but what I will tell you is that we are communicating directly, privately to Beijing, that there will absolutely be consequences for large-scale sanctions, evasion efforts, or support to Russia to backfill them. We will not allow that to go forward and allow there to be a lifeline to Russia from these economic sanctions from any country anywhere in the world.
You know, just when you need strength and you need clarity, he qualifies the threat to China, giving no definition of what large-scale sanctions evasion means. It's almost like this is another minor incursion moment for the Biden administration. We're giving them wiggle room, are we not?
Well, certainly. You know, Jake Sullivan there was struggling. You know, Eric Bolling just a few moments ago talked about the robot at Chipotle. Well, that's what we should have for Jake Sullivan, because that robot could do a lot more than Sullivan is to protect the United States.
Yeah, Gordon, a recent report out of Russia. So who, you know, look, you got to take it with a grain of salt, right? But they say that China was planning to invade Taiwan this fall, but the Ukraine invasion delayed those plans. Let's just assume that an invasion of Taiwan is in the offing here at some point. Now, we failed utterly to properly prepare the Ukrainians for Putin's war. How do we avoid making the same mistake when it comes to Taiwan?
What we should be doing right now is putting troops in Taiwan as a tripwire. We have tripwire troops in South Korea. That's worked for 7 decades. You know, we should be doing the same thing with Taiwan. We should be recognizing them diplomatically. And if they want a mutual defense treaty, we should give it to them. If we were to do those things, China would not dare to invade Taiwan. Instead, we have this policy of strategic ambiguity, which worked in a benign period, but we're no longer in a benign period. We are transitioning to a period of continual conflict and warfare. And so what worked in the decades past is certainly not going to work now, Tom.
You know, Gordon, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was over in Taiwan about a week or 10 days ago, and he said it's time to be done with the one China policy, and we should recognize Taiwan as an independent state. Your thoughts on that?
Well, we certainly should do that. We should recognize Taiwan for what it is and what people there say they want, which is to be called the Republic of Taiwan. So we can have a one China policy. That China, of course, is the People's Republic. But the people in Taiwan view themselves as Taiwanese. Overwhelmingly, we see this in these self-identification surveys. Like 85% of people in Taiwan say they're not Chinese at all. Only about 3 or 4% say that they're Chinese. This is a real indication. It's the Republic of Taiwan. We should recognize it.
All right, I got to leave it there. Unfortunately, I could talk to you, Gordon, all evening. Gordon Chang, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate it.
I really appreciate it, Tom. Thank you.